Alright guys, so today we will be converting Mike's bike over to tubeless. Supposedly this tire is already taped. We'll see, we'll find out when we get it open. Alright, let's see. It is Gorilla taped.
It'll do.
which is all I use anyways, Gorilla tape. If it wasn't taped, this is what I normally use. I don't bother buying the Stan's rim tape or anything like that. Gorilla tape always works for me. Costs less, you get more of it. So if you do have to do 7 layers like I did earlier, this is the way to go. Gorilla tape, get the 1 inch. What we'll do is we'll put the valve in, and then we'll put the tire back on and just see if it's gonna hold without putting any sealant in first. So as you try to get the tire on, you start getting to the other side. If it gets too hard, move the tire into that channel. Doesn't look like we're gonna have issues with this one though. Yeah, that thing's gonna pop right on. The only problem with that popping right on is it's probably gonna be harder to set up tubeless. So we'll find out. We are first gonna try the floor pump. If that doesn't work, we're gonna pull out the blaster. Put about 140 PSI into this can. Release it all at once, so it acts like an air compressor. One thing you want to do to make things easier, a lot of times when you buy the stems, it'll come with this core remover. Remove the core when you try to pump it up. It allows the air to go in a lot quicker. Alright, moment of truth. Those pops are what you want. That's the bead seating on the rim. All right, cool. All right, so now you have multiple ways that you could get the sealant into the tire. You pull off the tire, open it up a little bit, and you pour it directly in. Getting one of these here, what happens here is this will connect directly to the valve stem and you'll pour it in through there. So what we'll do now is we'll pour the Stan's sealant into our orange seal bottle. Don't tell anyone. Shake it up. There's little particles in there that you want mixed around. I like to have the valve stem not at the bottom, because sometimes it'll shoot back up. And that's really it. Put the cord back in. Always close the lids. I don't know how many times I've knocked these over and lost half the sealant. What I'll usually do is I'll inflate it up to 40 just to make sure everything pops on. Bounce the tire around, pull it sideways, shift it around, flip it. All right, that one's done.
Let me see how much it weighs now. Oh, it's so much lighter.
I should have done that.
Oh crap, it's so much lighter. If you guys can see that in here, it was heavy.
So this is a puncture resistant tube, and
It's beefy.
I mean, it's durable. But if you guys could feel this weight, this weighs probably as much as the tire itself. And this is just the tube. So, tire number 2. We're going to do things a little bit differently this time. We are actually going to try to do this one with a trail pump. See what happens. Man, that is heavy duty. You can probably run without tires, just wrap this thing around.
On slicks. This one's taped too?
This one is not taped.
Oh.
So we get to do the tape job too.
Why would he tape the front and not the back?
Maybe he tried to do it tubeless and then changed his mind. I'm going to clean off the inside of the rim with just regular rubbing alcohol. It evaporates quickly, dries quickly. It's really all you need. Unless it's something very bad happened in there, but I think we're pretty lucky. What I use is 1-inch Gorilla tape, and we are going to find the valve hole here. And what we want to do is we want to start I usually start, you know, at least one hole above it. Get that in there. Just pull it tight. And we'll go around afterwards and push it down again. What I'm actually going to do here though, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 layers to make sure we have a tight fit with the tire and the rim. Alright, so what I'll do now is that I got tape on there with my thumb, I'll just go down the middle, get all that pushed down. And then after I do that, what I like to do is grab my tire lever or any smoother surface, and I'll push that onto the side, and I'll just go around the rim and get that all pushed down. And you don't need a very big hole. It'll seal up as long as you can get the valve through it. It's fine. Just try doing that with 7 layers of Gorilla Tape. It took me about 20 minutes just to get a hole through it. Alright, now let's get the tire back on. As I mentioned before, we want the brake side away from us, and we want the tire rotation to go clockwise. In our case, as I mentioned earlier that I learned, the side with all the letters. Now you can line this up however you want. So I like to put the brand name where the stem is, and that's what most people do. That way it's easy to locate when you need to. You just look for the tire name, and it'll be right on the valve stem. I totally didn't do it on that other tire. I'll probably catch slack in the comments about that first one not being lined up. If it was my bike, I'd fix it, but it's not my bike, so I don't care. Yeah. So let's start from the other side of the valve stem, because you can't get into that center channel where the valve stem is. So if you need to use it, you're going to have to start from the opposite side. Let's see if we'll need it here. Yeah, this is way tighter than the first one already. One thing you want to do is try to roll the tire onto it. It's so much easier than just trying to force it on. There we go, and we're on. We are going to try to get this one to seat with a trail pump. So here we got the OneUp Components. This is actually a pretty high volume pump, and the thing I love about this one is it's the EDC toolkit. So all the tools are in there. It's got the CO2 cartridge. So this tip here will come off and it'll go on the end of the CO2 cartridge, but all the tools are in there. So let's see if it could seat this tire with it. Yep. Yeah, it's holding. Sort of. You can hear a couple leaks in there somewhere. Hear that? This will be my workout for the day. Yeah, I'm gonna say that was a success. Let's take this off and we'll get the seal in. Oh man, I'm just tired. You know what I want to know is, tell me in the comments, are you a stands sealant guy, or there's so many new ones out there on the market now. I've always been into orange seal. I've always loved orange seal. Let me know what's worked for you, and I'm going to stick to orange seal anyway. Even though we don't have to, we'll go ahead and use this today. I'll show you how to use it. And what you'll do is you'll just pump up and put some air into the can. And I will actually pump this up to, usually I can get by with 100, but in case I have a really hard time setting up the tubeless, I'll go all the way to 140. And here we go. And that's it. That's on. And we'll just finish it off by hand. There, I mean, I do hear some air coming out. All right, one thing to look for, and I can see it here. Clean this off so you can see. You can see you have this little line here on the tire. It follows the bead, and then you can see it kind of disappears. You don't want that. What is this? This is starting to separate. You're going to want a new tire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to separate. Okay, so you don't want this. I'm actually going to let the air out, and I'm going to try to get this to pop. Actually, let's see if we can do it while it's on there. So what we're going to do is try to roll it to get it to pop out. All right, it did come out a little bit. So a little bit more, we'll get that to come out. And that could be also where the air is coming out too. Yeah, it looks pretty even now. Here we got it on the other side too. See here, there's the line, and then it disappears all the way to right here. I'm gonna pull this side up. So that's all the way around. A little bit more. Almost there. All right, that should be good. Push it around. And it should be good. Just check it in the morning. That's it. 2 tires, tubeless.
So much lighter. Oh my gosh. That's sick.
All right, so as I mentioned, you want to check it in the morning, make sure that everything held up. You might get a little bit of a slow leak. Just pump it back up, swish it around some more, try it again. Never set up tubeless right before you go riding. Too many times I've heard of people that have tried to set up tubeless right before they go riding. They either don't get it done so they don't go ride, or in the middle of the ride they found out that it didn't hold. So do it the night before. That way you know in the morning, hey, you know what, all that pressure's still in there. I'm good to go. That's it. Tubeless. A lot easier these days. 5 years ago, this would have been an hour-long video. That's it.